What if everything you thought was just a coincidence wasn't? What if the strange timing, the repeated numbers, the perfectly aligned moments weren't random at all? What if there were messages, signs, clues? What if reality itself has been quietly trying to talk to you, and you've just been taught not to listen? From the moment you wake up, reality is leaving hints for you. But most people miss them because they've been trained to ignore them. Trained to believe that if something can't be explained by logic, it must not be real. You were taught to trust only what you can see, touch, measure, or prove. But what if the most important parts of life, the ones that truly guide you, can't be measured at all? You felt it before. That strange sense that something bigger is going on. The way a song comes on at the exact moment you're thinking of someone. The way a number seems to follow you everywhere. The moment a stranger tells you exactly what you needed to hear. You probably called it chance, but a part of you always wondered if it was something more. And guess what? You were right to wonder. These are not accidents. They're synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that defy logic. And they happen more than you realize. They're not just weird little moments. They are signals. They are reality's way of getting your attention. They are proof that you are not alone and that something deeper is always at play behind the scenes of your life. The truth is, synchronicities are part of an ancient language, one that was known and studied by mystics, philosophers, and ancient cultures for thousands of years. They understood that life is more than just random events. They knew everything is connected, that every moment is part of a bigger pattern. But modern society lost touch with that. Or rather, modern society was taught to forget. From childhood, we're trained to ignore our intuition. We're told that if something can't be proven with data, it doesn't count. If you feel something, sense something, or know something without knowing why, it's just your imagination. As kids, we see patterns. We feel energy. We sense when something big is about to happen. We pick up on people's thoughts and emotions without them saying a word. But we're told not to trust that. We're told to grow up, to be logical, to only believe what we can prove. So little by little, we stop listening to that quiet inner voice. We stop noticing the strange timing. We brush off those little signs. And eventually, we forget how to tune in. We forget that reality is speaking to us. It's not a mistake. The system is built this way. Schools train you to memorize, follow rules, and obey authority. They teach you how to pass tests, not how to listen to your intuition or notice synchronicities. They reward logic and discourage imagination. If you question what you're told, you're labeled a troublemaker. If you talk about energy or signs from the universe, people laugh. But if you ignore them and fall in line, you're praised as smart, grounded, and reasonable. Even science, at least the mainstream version, has become a gatekeeper. Instead of exploring the unknown, it often works to shut it down. Anything that can't be measured is dismissed as a fluke. Synchronicities? Just cognitive bias. You're only noticing the number 1111 because your brain is playing tricks. You're only meeting the right person at the right time because of pure luck. But deep down, we all know that explanation doesn't feel right. Because we've felt those moments. We've experienced something real that logic can't fully explain. Even some of the greatest minds in history knew this. Carl Jung, the psychologist who first coined the term synchronicity, saw these moments as glimpses into a deeper order, a pattern beneath the surface of life. Nikola Tesla spoke about energy and vibration as the keys to understanding the universe. Einstein, too, believed that imagination and intuition were more important than knowledge alone. But talk about this openly today, and you risk being mocked. People will call you delusional, unscientific, irrational. It's social conditioning. The moment you start to pay attention to the signs around you, the system tries to pull you back in. Because if you truly understood how reality works, if you knew how deeply you were connected to everything, everything would change. And that's the point. Synchronicities are the beginning of a transformation. Once you start noticing them, you begin to question everything. You start to realize that you are not just a passive observer in your life. You are a creator, a participant in an intelligent, interactive universe. You think a thought, and reality responds. You set an intention, and a path opens. You feel drawn to someone or something, and it leads to a new opportunity. The more you notice, the more it happens. And the more it happens, the more you awaken to the fact that nothing is random. Everything is connected. Every moment has meaning. The universe isn't just a machine. It's a mirror. It reflects your energy back to you. Every thought you have sends out a frequency. Every emotion carries a vibration. Every choice, no matter how small, sends ripples through the field of reality. Synchronicities are how the universe whispers back. They are signs that you're in alignment or that you're being nudged in a new direction. Some believe these signs come from your higher self, the deeper, wiser version of you that sees the bigger picture. Others believe they come from the collective unconscious, a shared space of human thought and energy. Some think it's God. Others say it's the universe, source energy, or even a simulated reality trying to send a message to its players. Whatever name you give it, the core idea is the same. There's more going on than meets the eye. Synchronicities are proof of that. And once you start seeing them, you can't unsee them. You start to recognize the patterns. You feel the timing. You sense when something is meant to be. And suddenly, you're no longer sleepwalking through life. You're awake, aware, tuned in. That's when the magic begins. Because once you understand that synchronicities are messages, you can begin to work with them instead of ignoring them. You can start to co-create your reality instead of just reacting to it. You can ask for signs, set intentions, follow your inner guidance, and reality will respond again and again. This is the real awakening, not just some spiritual trend or feel-good idea, but a fundamental shift in how you see the world. And of course, society will still try to pull you back. It will still tell you that it's all in your head, that you're being irrational. But deep down, you'll know better, because you felt it, you've seen it, you've lived it, you've seen the perfect timing. You've felt the invisible hand guiding you. You've heard the universe speak to you, not in words, but in patterns. That's not something anyone can take from you. And once you start listening, really listening, you'll begin to understand how to live in harmony with this deeper intelligence. You'll start noticing more synchronicities, more flow, more alignment, and your life will begin to transform in ways you never expected. If you're ready to go deeper, there's more to discover. Some truths are too big for platforms like this. That's why I created Insights Academy, a space where we explore the hidden forces behind reality, intuition, energy, and yes, synchronicities. A place where you can remember the ancient wisdom you were always meant to know. When you join, you'll also get a free copy of the Kabbalah, a powerful text that reveals the universal laws behind the fabric of existence. Because the real reason they don't want you to notice synchronicities is this. Once you do, the illusion of randomness falls apart. And when that illusion breaks, you remember who you are. A powerful, intuitive being, connected to everything. So the next time you see a number repeat, or a song plays at just the right moment, or a stranger tells you exactly what you needed to hear, don't brush it off. Listen, because reality is talking to you, and it always has been. What if the moments in your life that feel like coincidences aren't random at all? What if there's an unseen mechanism connecting events behind the scenes? A force so subtle yet so powerful that once you recognize it, you'll never look at life the same way again. Synchronicities, those uncanny, perfectly timed events, aren't accidents. They're signals. And the moment you begin to understand how they work, you realize something profound. You have far more influence over your reality than you've ever been led to believe. At the core of synchronicity is a simple, beautiful truth. Your mind isn't just a spectator of the world, it's a collaborator. It filters, shapes, and even helps generate the events you experience. Modern neuroscience offers the first clue. Deep within your brainstem lies a network known as the reticular activating system, or RAS. This system is like your brain's bouncer, deciding what information gets through to your conscious awareness. It filters out the noise and lets in only what you've deemed important, often without you even realizing it. That's why, after buying a new car, you suddenly see the same model everywhere. Those cars were always there. You just weren't tuned into them until your brain decided they mattered. Synchronicities operate in much the same way. When you begin to focus on them, believe in them, and expect them, your RAS starts letting them through. You begin to notice connections and patterns that were previously hidden in plain sight. But this is just the beginning. Because the truth is, the science of your brain's filtering system doesn't explain everything. It can tell us why you notice certain patterns, but it doesn't fully explain why those patterns seem to respond to your inner world in such personal, meaningful ways. To understand that, we need to go deeper into the quantum realm. In quantum physics, there's a famous experiment known as the double-slit experiment. In it, particles of light behave differently depending on whether or not they're being observed. Just the act of observation changes the outcome. This suggests something remarkable. Consciousness itself has the power to influence reality at a fundamental level. That means the world around you isn't entirely fixed. It's responsive. It shifts and bends in subtle ways based on your attention, your thoughts, and your awareness. Now layer this insight with one of the core principles of metaphysics, the law of vibration. Everything in existence is energy, and all energy vibrates at different frequencies. Your thoughts, your emotions, even your beliefs, they're all vibrational signals. When you dwell in fear, anxiety, or scarcity, your vibration drops, and you begin to align with experiences that match that energy. But when you shift your inner frequency, when you focus on gratitude, curiosity, alignment, or purpose, you begin to attract experiences that mirror that shift. The outer world starts to reflect your inner transformation. This is why synchronicities don't just increase in frequency when you start looking for them. They multiply when your energy changes. It's not about luck. It's about alignment. People who report constant synchronicities aren't just paying better attention. They've started to vibrate at a different frequency. They've begun to live in a way that resonates with the intelligence of the universe itself. And here's where things get even more fascinating. While your conscious mind navigates the visible world, your subconscious is busy handling the invisible one. It's always scanning, connecting, and calculating, linking your thoughts and emotions with opportunities, people, and events that match them. When you set an intention, whether you're fully aware of it or not, your subconscious mind goes to work behind the scenes. It begins aligning circumstances in your favor. It nudges you toward the right people, the right places, the right timing. This is why people who believe deeply in synchronicity seem to experience it everywhere they go. Their belief isn't just a mindset, it's a message to the subconscious, a signal to begin seeking, noticing, and creating connections. It's like giving your internal compass a new direction. Suddenly, things start clicking into place. Life begins to feel like it's nudging you forward. And the more you trust it, the more powerful it becomes. Skeptics might shrug all this off as nothing more than selective attention. They might say, of course you notice patterns when you're looking for them. But that explanation misses something crucial. If it were just about noticing, why do these events so often carry deep emotional meaning? Why do they align so perfectly with your thoughts, feelings, or decisions, often arriving at exactly the right moment? Why do they sometimes push people to make life-altering choices, quit jobs, move cities, or pursue dreams? Because synchronicities are not just coincidences, they're communication. A conversation between your conscious mind, your subconscious desires, and the greater intelligence that animates the cosmos. The more fluent you become in this language, the more clearly you hear the message. And once you start acting on those messages, something shifts. You stop feeling like you're drifting and start feeling guided. But here's the kicker. Most people never tune in. They live trapped in a loop of logic and limitation. They believe the universe is mechanical, indifferent, and random. And that belief becomes a filter that blocks out the signals trying to reach them. Even when something strange and meaningful happens, they dismiss it. They laugh it off as coincidence. But in doing so, they miss the message. They close the door. Think of it like a room filled with radio frequencies. Every channel is broadcasting right now. But unless you have a radio tuned to the right frequency, you'll hear nothing but static. Synchronicities are the same way. They're happening all around you. You just need to tune in. Now, those who live in alignment with synchronicities aren't born different. They've simply trained their awareness. They've made space for magic. When something strange or perfectly timed happens, they don't brush it off, they listen. They follow the breadcrumbs. And the universe responds by laying out more of the path. This is why synchronicities become more frequent the more you believe in them. Your subconscious starts actively seeking them out like a heat-seeking missile. Your vibration shifts to match a new reality. Your intuition sharpens. You begin noticing signs, opportunities, and coincidences that others miss completely. What feels like luck to the outside world is actually alignment at work. It's also why people who meditate, practice mindfulness, or do inner work often report an explosion in synchronicities. They've quieted the noise. They've shifted their frequency. And in that silence, they begin to hear the universe speak. But awareness alone isn't enough. The final ingredient is trust. People who experience powerful synchronicities act on them. They don't hesitate. They follow the signs, even when it doesn't make logical sense. That leap of faith strengthens the connection. It's like saying to the universe, "I'm listening. Keep going." And the universe does. The people who fail to experience synchronicity often do so not because the signs aren't there, but because they see them and do nothing. They doubt. They delay, they second guess, and the thread unravels. The signs fade, not because the universe stopped speaking, but because we stop listening. The truth is, synchronicities are not just messages, they're invitations. Invitations to align, to trust, to grow, to act. They are the universe's way of saying, you're on the right track. Keep going. They are gentle nudges that lead to big transformations if we let them. And once you start walking that path, you begin to wonder how you ever lived any other way. The world opens up. Life becomes more than just a series of tasks or goals. It becomes a dance with something bigger, a mysterious, meaningful unfolding, a co-creation between you and the infinite intelligence that holds everything together. Right now, synchronicities are happening all around you. The question is, will you notice? Will you trust them? Will you follow the thread and see where it leads? Because when you do, you won't just change how you see the world. You'll change how the world responds to you. You begin to notice something. At first, it feels small, barely a flicker in the noise of everyday life. A number keeps showing up. A song plays just when you're thinking about someone. A stranger says exactly what you needed to hear. At first, It seems like coincidence. Harmless. Cute, even. But then it happens again. And again. And again. Suddenly, it's not random anymore. Patterns start forming. Symbols repeat. Certain words, numbers, names, and moments keep circling back to you like echoes, trying to get your attention. If you're paying attention, something begins to click. You realize these aren't just odd little moments. They're messages, guidance, a higher intelligence speaking in the language of the universe, signs, alignments, timing. And here's the truth. The more you notice synchronicities, the more they begin to show up. It's like a secret conversation starts opening up. One where life is no longer just happening to you, it's happening with you. The path reveals itself step by step, but only if you're watching. Still, recognizing synchronicities is only the beginning. That's the doorway. That's step one. The real transformation comes when you move beyond noticing and step into acting. That's the part most people miss. They see the signs and feel the pull, but they freeze. They wait for more certainty, more proof, another signal. But the universe doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards movement. The signs are not just there for entertainment. They are guidance systems, invitations to shift, to grow, to leap. When a message keeps repeating itself, it's not by accident. It's because the universe is waiting for you to respond. People who live in sync with synchronicities, those who always seem to be in the right place at the right time, aren't just lucky. They've trained themselves to listen. More importantly, they've trained themselves to trust. They don't just wait for life to happen. They live as conscious collaborators with it. They treat life like a dance, not a battle. And the music they're moving to? It's the rhythm of signs, nudges, and perfectly timed moments. And here's where it gets really interesting. You can consciously attract more synchronicities into your life. This isn't just something that happens to you when the stars align. It's a state you can enter, a frequency you can tune into. Once you know how to open that channel, you can use synchronicities as a tool for powerful, lasting transformation. They become not just signs from the universe, but roadmaps to your highest potential. The truth is, synchronicities are not just random sparks of meaning. They're communication. They are symbols encoded with direction. They are invitations to step into a life that flows, not by luck, but by design. When you start to see them for what they really are, everything shifts. You begin to realize that you are part of something much bigger, something intelligent, responsive, and always guiding you toward alignment. But there's a catch. You have to be willing to listen. Not just casually, but fully, deeply. With your heart, your gut, your intuition. You have to feel your way forward. And more than anything, you have to act. Because the signs won't carry you. They'll show you the door, but they won't drag you through it. That part is on you. Most people don't act. They get excited when a synchronicity appears, but they stay passive. They tell themselves it's just a fluke. They wait for a bigger sign, something more obvious. But the universe rarely shouts. It speaks in whispers. And if you ignore those whispers long enough, they stop. Not out of punishment, but because you've stopped participating in the dialogue. But when you do act, when you say yes to the moment, the nudge, the sign, everything begins to move. You take one step forward, and the universe takes 5 to meet you. The path begins to light up. You start noticing more signs, more flow, more coincidences that just don't feel like coincidences anymore. Because they're not. Think back to a time in your life when everything just clicked, where people, ideas, opportunities, and moments seemed to align effortlessly. That wasn't magic. That was alignment. That was your inner world syncing with your outer world. That's what happens when you live in resonance with synchronicity. And the more you move with it, the more it moves with you. But here's where most people get stuck. They see the signs but ignore the action. They get caught in the loop of hesitation. They wait for confirmation when the sign was the confirmation. Every time you delay, you build resistance, and resistance blocks flow. You can't co-create from fear. You have to move from trust. So what does that look like? It looks like saying yes to that opportunity that scares you, but excites you. It looks like reaching out to that person who keeps showing up in your thoughts. It looks like following the strange urge to go somewhere, call someone, start something, even when it doesn't make logical sense. Because that's the thing about synchronicity. It speaks through feeling, not formulas. And the beautiful part is, once you start living this way, the signs increase. The synchronicities accelerate. You start to feel like life is conspiring with you, like something bigger is orchestrating moments behind the scenes on your behalf. That's because it is. This is not fantasy. This is how reality responds to consciousness. Your thoughts, your energy, your intention, they are creative forces. When you align with that truth, you step into your role not just as an observer of life, but as a co-creator of it. The people who seem to live effortlessly, to catch every wave, to meet the right people at the right time, they're not more special than you. They've just learned to listen, and they've chosen to act. Every day, every moment, they trust the signs. They take the leap, and life rises to meet them. Now that you know all of this, the question becomes, what will you do with it? Because most people, after hearing everything you've just realized, will go right back to the old way of living. They'll notice a synchronicity and brush it off. They'll feel the pull towards something new and get scared. They'll wait. They'll overthink. They'll hope for more obvious proof. But here's the truth. Certainty never comes before action. Action creates clarity. You've been conditioned to dismiss synchronicity, to write it off as coincidence, to stay disconnected from the very intelligence guiding your life. But now you know. Now you see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Reality isn't random. It's designed, structured, intelligent, responsive, and most importantly, you are part of that structure. Your energy, your focus, your choices, they shape what happens next. You're not just moving through life. You are creating it, moment by moment, decision by decision. So what does it mean when synchronicities start to multiply around you? It means you're in alignment. It means the universe is responding to your inner clarity. It means you're on the right path and being asked to take the next step. The signs are not just there to make you smile. They are there to move you, to stretch you, to call you into a version of yourself that's braver, wiser, and more connected than ever before. Every synchronicity is an invitation to trust, to expand, to align, and most importantly, to act. Because the more you respond to these signs, the louder they become. And the more you ignore them, the more you drift back into unconscious patterns, stuck in the loop of waiting, doubting, wondering. But if you choose to listen, if you treat these synchronicities as real, as sacred, as intentional, your entire life can shift. You'll begin to live in a state where flow is natural, where the right people, places, and moments show up exactly when you need them, where it feels like something is working behind the scenes on your behalf. And the truth is, something is. There's far more to this than can be captured in a single conversation. That's why Insights Academy exists, to take you deeper into the hidden layers of synchronicity, transformation, and conscious creation. If you feel the pull, follow it. This isn't just information, it's activation. And when you sign up now, you'll receive the Kellyan ebook for free, a guide designed to help you decode the signs and live a life of intention, intuition, and flow. You've seen the patterns. You felt the alignment. The next step is yours. Stop second guessing. Stop waiting. Start trusting. Because once you begin following the signs with your full heart, you'll discover something incredible. Synchronicities were never rare. You just weren't seeing them until now. If this speaks to you, let us know in the comments with, "I understood it," because your understanding is the spark that changes everything.